Tony Taggart and our new defensive coordinator Lance Guidry here. And Coach Taggart will start with an opening statement.
What's up, Nick?
What's up, man?
Great week to be a Hilltopper. Had some positive momentum on Wednesday, and we got some more positive momentum on Friday to end the week. A lot of momentum. Can't stop the momentum. You can only hope to contain it. Questions?
Well, Willie, obviously the statement kind of sums up, and the hire sums up how you feel about things, but just talk about what stood out when you interviewed and all that sort of stuff, and why you ultimately decided to bring him.
Well, when we lost Coach Bowen, one thing I felt like our defense needed was someone that had a lot of energy. We wanted to get someone who was very enthusiastic and can motivate our guys, our players, and not only our players, but our coaches too. And then, probably like all of you, you've seen this video, it was on YouTube, and I saw that same video, like, that's the kind of enthusiasm I'm looking for. And I gave Coach Guidry a call and told him I was interested in him, wanted to talk to him, and saw the enthusiasm, then I wanted to see if he can coach, if he knew football. And we brought him down here, and he didn't let us down. We had a big-time interview.
Coach Guidry, for you, what sold you on making the decision to come here? You know, you probably could have had other choices. What sold you afterwards?
Well, it was a situation that was a lot like the situation I just got out of, to where a program was trying to be built and go back on an uprise of the days it used to be. And of course, I'm very familiar with Western Kentucky. I was defense coordinator at McNeese State back in 2002 when we lost the national championship against them. So, and then, of course, they had that transition going into 1A, and I kind of lost track a little bit of them. And of course, I went back down to high school, coached my son, then went back to McNeese before I went to Miami. And when the opportunity came up, of course, after the bowl game, didn't know what my destiny was going to be at Miami. And I got a phone call from him, and I was really excited because Carl Maslowski worked for me at Miami, and I knew that he was here, and I saw the facilities when he took the job, the upgrade of the facilities, and I knew last year they had a really good recruiting class, number one in the Sun Belt, and of course they did it again. And this group is amazing. They've got some really good football players, and I'm excited, really, really excited to be at a place where you feel like you got a chance to win. So,
I like the, you can stop saying they. We got some really good football players.
So, Coach Guidry, did you use your YouTube video? Was that part of your resume when you were kind of looking around for here or anywhere else?
No, not really. I know that I got a phone call. I was going to a coaching convention, looking for a job, basically, because the door was left open at Miami, but it was really closed. And I knew that, and I was in the airport. I was flying out of Cincinnati. I got a phone call from Coach Taggart, and he wanted me to come interview, and I felt really good because I was going to the convention looking for a job and already had got an opportunity to interview at least before I even got on the plane, so that felt good. But it's amazing something like that, you know, can blow up so big. I was at the convention. There was a lot of people coming up to me, high school coaches. Man, I saw the video. I saw the video. It was over 100 people at least. So this thing's just crazy. It's got out of control. My dad, my son said, "Daddy, that's not even one of your top 5 speeches." And but anyway, it is what it is, and I'm excited, really excited. Coach called me, interviewed, and I like where this program's headed.
Do you think about what the last few months have been like for you? I mean, obviously Coach Haywood leaves, and that gives you the chance to be the interim coach, and you're on the national stage like you were in the bowl game, and then sure enough, you know that you were able to land here at a place where you coached against a team that beat you when you were at McNeese. Just how it all kind of comes full circle.
Yeah, you know, you never know what's the Lord's plan. You know, we all have our own plans, but sometimes they don't line up with what He has for us. And I was going to Pitt. I was going to be a DB coach. I was going to triple my salary. And then there was talk of me applying for the head job there. And none of that came about. And, you know, there was Western Kentucky. And I believe it's the right place for me and my family. And my wife's excited. My children are excited. That's the most important thing for me.
How much did that stint as with the interim tag in Miami, how much did that help you grow as a coach? Although it was a short time, how much did that time there, basically being in charge of everything, how much did that help you kind of mold?
Everybody, during the week they asked me that too, going from DB coach to the head coach, how much more responsibility, but really, it wasn't an old hat, it wasn't a new hat for me, it was an old hat, because I'd been a high school head coach to where you do everything. You line the field, you order the food, you got to bed them down, you got to be their daddy. Just so many different things that goes into being a high school head coach, and so it really wasn't a big deal to me, other than talking to ESPN and not using any profanity. That was the hardest.
Willie, kind of the same question that he just asked Lance. You know, how much did that bowl game impress you as someone that you wanted from the standpoint, you know, the head coach had left, and you don't know how teams are going to react when a head coach leaves before a bowl game, but he rallied them around, and then, you know, kind of full circle, they beat Middle Tennessee.
That was important because, again, where we're at with our program, and we lost the defensive coordinator, and now it'll be the third one for our guys in just as many years. It was important to get someone in here that's been a part of something like that, that's been through some adversity, you know, and fight through it and come out successful. Just look at our football team. We've been through a lot of adversity, and we need some success coming out of it. And for Coach Guidry to do that in a short amount of time, and with everything that went on, you know, them losing the coach and just all the things that went on with Miami's program, and keep those guys focused and locked in at the task at hand, and come out successful. That was important, you know, because of what we're trying to do here.
Willie, how big is the personality of the defense that you want equal to Lance's personality? I mean, it seems like they're what you guys want out of the defense. From what you're with Coach Guidry, it seems like it's kind of thing. And how big is that?
It's huge. I'm a big believer that from a defensive standpoint, defense is going to play like the defensive coordinator's personality, you know, and I truly believe Lance have a lot of energy, a lot of juice, like we want our football team to be, and he's got a little craziness to him too. We want to be a little crazy out there. I just play, but
No, you're not.
he brings that energy that we need on defense. I just can't be bored over there. You know, you can't be afraid. It's different. That side of the ball is different, and you need someone that's different. I felt like Coach Guidry had all those things that we're looking for, personality we want from our defense.
First from the scheme and all that sort of stuff, what kind of scheme do you have in mind?
Well, we'll start off in a 4-3, and then of course when they start changing personnel, we'll go to 5 DBs, and you know, even have a package with 6. But you got to match offenses. But been doing it long enough to know that you can't be too complex, and you got to do what your players can do. And so I believe in you start off in a 4-3, and you match every personnel that they give you and every formation they give you, and then you work to your other packages because you're going to need them too. And sometimes they switch on and off the field so quick offensively to where you got to have a call within that defense. You can't just be stuck with a certain personnel and not have a call to match. So I've learned over the years, as a young coach, I tried to do everything. I mean everything. Anything I saw, I tried to do. And just growing up and learning as you go, by trial and error, sometimes more isn't necessarily better. It all revolves back to playing gap assignment football, coming off of blocks, running to the football, getting 11 people to the football, and don't give up the explosive plays. That's what it comes down to.
That sounds a lot like what it was last year. Is it going to be not that big of a transition for you guys, you think, at the end of the day? Because you got a lot of young guys, like you said, had their second one, and this will be their 33 years. Is this transition, is this an easier transition than it was last year?
I think it is because we got everybody else intact on our staff, and I think that's important to have that. And then our guys understand how we do things around here now. You know, last year they didn't. They were trying to find their way through it. I think everybody understands how we do things around here. Our things are going to be done around here, and no matter what coach comes in here, as long as Willie Taggart's the head coach, we're going to do things a certain way around here, and that's going to help, you know, with the transition, just the way we do things. There'll be some new learning, terminology-wise, but again, that comes with good coaching. You know, we got to have good teachers out there to teach our guys on how to do it, and I think we have good teachers to make that transaction go smoothly.
Lance, this was a defense that made some really big strides last year. still got a lot of young talent. Still, I mean, how much are you looking forward to working with some of these young guys? You know, I mean, there's going to be some veterans, obviously, but for the most part, these guys are still going to be, probably sophomores. How much are you looking forward to that?
I'm looking forward to it. Then you have a good freshman bunch coming in, and so you've got old and you've got some, in the middle ground, and you have some young ones coming in. I think it's good. Competition is the best thing that can happen, and I'm a guy, I don't care if you're a senior or you're a freshman, the best guys are going to play. I love competition, and we're going to get better that way. Kind of the same thing that we went through where I was at. Came into it, and we won one game our first year, and we wasn't very good on defense. And that spring, we got a little bit better, but then we sprinkled in a couple freshmen with it, and all of a sudden, those older guys started playing a little bit better because their jobs were at stake. And I can see the same thing happening here. They do have talent here. They've got guys that can run, and they're adding some size to the defensive front, which is good, and got some skilled players and some backers. So I really feel good in the direction, where the defense is going too.
Coach, the interview process, you had interviewed several guys. What stood out about Guidry here, and what did you see in comparison to the other three?
More than anything, that he fit right in with our guys. Personality-wise, when I say our guys, staff, that was important too, getting someone that can fit in with the other personalities on the staff. And man, Lance fit in perfectly in there, and to get someone that's new and everybody else is been here on the staff, I thought that was important to get someone that can fit right in with our current staff, but also command their respect too, and be able to teach those guys.
Coach Guidry, I mean, obviously, like you guys were talking about, energy is something you're kind of known for.
Juice.
The juice. But is there anything on the field as far as, are you guys do you like to blitz a lot, or is there any kind of thing that maybe is kind of will be a staple of your defense?
Well, you've got to play within your defense, and you can't always put the secondary in jeopardy. But at times you have to blitz. I mean, you have to do those things. And I've got some really nice zone blitz type stuff that I borrow from different people, and we were real successful with them. And we'll try and do the same things. And I think the most important thing is you teach concepts. And when you teach concepts, you branch off of that, and you add more and more and more. But if it always goes back to those same teachings, it's type of a rule-based defense with concepts, you'll be okay. But yeah, I like to pressure people, but if we can get it to them with our front four, it makes you a lot better in the back end, I promise you. So, but sometimes you have to blitz. It's just the nature of the game. Like I tell those corners, y'all on scholarship too.
Coach Guidry, I know it might be maybe bad memories for you, but what do you remember from the 0-2 game?
There's a couple plays I remember. I remember they didn't kick it to B.J. Sams. The first game we played him at McNeese, and they punted to B.J. Sams a couple times. He scored a couple times. I think he had, I don't know, probably 300 yards all purpose. The next game in the national championship, they didn't punt it to him at all, which was very smart. And they switched up some things on offense, which, always when you play somebody twice, they're going to have something that's a little different, and they did a good job. They were better than us, though, bottom line. At the end of the year, they were a better football team than we were, and at the beginning of the year, we were better than they were at that time. So the best team did win.
No, he's flaunting that ring as you.
Oh, my bad.
I got to look at that picture every day I go in the office.
It's right over there, too.
That's it. We had some good defensive tackles that year.
Coach
Yeah.
Taggart, you say competition's good. You're going to have to up your game to match Coach Guidry's juice out there?
Nobody's going to have more juice than me. Come on. Competition's great, Don't give it to Coach Guidry in the spring ball game. I already told him it's just the honeymoon right now. Once we throw this press conference, we're going to get on him offensively this spring. So he's got to bring his A game. Competition, calling them out. How about that?
One of the things fans I think have probably got to be excited about is that you have a win over Middle Tennessee, and it's been a few years since Western's beat Middle. You're going to be able to provide some pretty good tips on how to beat the Blue Raiders?
Well, it wasn't hard last year. Well, it was hard. You knew who was going to run the ball. Dasher was going to run the football. And he played well that night against us. I'd watched him on film against a lot of different teams, and he didn't play the way he did that night. That night I thought he played really well until he got tired at the end. He ran around a lot, and he got tired and just started throwing the ball up. But offensively helped us out that night too. We was able to run the football, make some big plays, and we kind of matched some plays early on. And we kind of settled in on defense and did what we did. And after we did that, our kids started playing faster with more confidence, and we'll do the same thing here. The biggest thing is, and me and Coach Taggart was talking about it, is that the kids got to believe that they can win. And Coach is always talking about chasing excellence.
Greatness.
Chasing greatness, I'm
Yes.
sorry. And winning every day. And they have to believe that. And once they start believing that, it'll come. And we was the same way where I was at. I mean, at Miami. The kids didn't believe, but boy, when they started to believe, you couldn't stop them. It was a steamroller. So, same thing can happen here.